Hello guys, and this is my first proper video. As you can tell, I've got no sound equipment, I've got no light, I'm going all out, all raw, with some daylight and a bit of a setup on this little box that I've got you on. Right, as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going about how to lose weight. It's a very easy topic to get your head around. However, when I started losing weight, I could never really find the information I really needed to get my head around how to do it. So I'm going to start very basic. The way you lose weight is by burning more calories than you eat each day, every single day. So the way you do this is by finding how much calories your body burns. So naturally, how much your body burns is what you call your BMI, your basal metabolic rate. You can find this very roughly. It's hard to find it dead on the dot because unless you're going to pay for a body examination, which will tell you your lean muscle mass and your fat to muscle ratio and all of this stuff, you can't really get the dead on the dot. But a very good starting point is what I used right at the start. So what I did is I got my weight in kg. I started off as a person that went by stone and pounds. So I stepped on scales, just for example, saw 10 stone 2 pounds, roughly converts to about 64 kg. And then I times 64 by 13. That figure there that you get is what your BMR is. So if you laid on your bed all day, didn't do nothing, that's what your body will burn in the space of 24 hours. So you want to use that figure there as a very rough guide of what you burn each day with no exercise, nothing. So what you then eat, if you eat that amount, that figure, you will then not lose weight, not put on weight, but you will maintain weight. Nothing will move, nor will it budge. So what you then want to do is, if you're trying to lose weight, is to burn more than that figure. So typically you will consume around the calories that you know of. So if you eat 2,800 calories a day, which you'll find, which I'll go into just a sec, on your first week. So you'll find that figure. You then want to be 500 calories over that figure. So you eat 2,800 calories, you want to be burning 3,300 calories. People find that quite hard to burn that amount of calories, especially if you've just started. So then what I would recommend is actually bringing the amount of calories that you eat down, and you then find it a bit easier to meet the amount of calories you need to burn. Right. So what I would personally recommend is, on your first day of attempting this, or your first week, just find out what you eat, find out what you like, what you don't like, find out how much you eat in a day. So you can do this by simply downloading this app here. It's free. Yeah, there is an advanced program, but you don't need that. It's tracking calories, and all this allows you to do is get your food that you eat, scan it. Even on some of them you don't even need to type them in, you just scan them, put in how much you ate of that, and then you'll have your breakfast, dinner and tea, and maybe even a snack, and then it will come up with an overall figure for that day. So you don't have to do anything on this day. You're just going to look how much you eat throughout the week. Each day you'll want that figure to be about roughly the same, but don't worry about this on the first week. Just get all them numbers, and at the end of the week, when you look back on this app and you see the 7-day week and how much you've ate on each day, if it varies a lot, that's where you're going to start to struggle. So you want to bring that number for each day over the whole week to around about the same number. So say you decided that comfortably you'd probably be a bit satisfied and you can experiment with this 2,500 calories. You then want to be burning around 3,000. So you can easily do this by using that same tracker app, eat 2,500 calories, and then bear in mind your basal metabolic rate might be only just around 1,800, it's then your decision to whether you want to try to burn about 1,200 calories to get 500 calories in debt, or you want to bring that calories that you eat down to around about, let's say, 2,000 calories. So you still got 200 calories more, so you want to burn about 700 calories, which you can quite easily done, very easily done. You know, just to give you a rough example, a 30-minute jog at quite a high pace, 30 minutes out of a whole day, burns around 320 calories, right? That's 15 minutes. So if you just stayed active throughout the whole day, or you did a 2-hour low intensity session, or maybe an hour body, you know, like a body composition workout or weightlifting, you will make up them calories throughout that day, trust me. So try to bring them calories down and your exercise up. Very basic terms. Do more than what you do at the minute if you're continually putting on weight. On the first week and the first couple of weeks, all you're doing is experimenting. You're getting used to this kind of new lifestyle, and you're throwing in things that you're not used to. You've got to adapt to this. Your body has to adapt, so is your mindset. So just remember, this isn't a diet, and I never recommend doing a diet. I'd recommend doing a lifestyle change, because you're never going to really stick to something that is temporary and you know is only going to be there for a certain amount of time. You want to be doing it every single day of the whole year, because then you know that it's a bit like brushing your teeth. You do that every single day because that's your lifestyle. Same with eating. First week or the first few weeks, you want to get your pictures in, you want to get your weight, and you also want to get your measurements. So picture wise, what I would advise to do, take 3 pictures of the top half of the body, or the whole body if you can fit it in frame, by putting and that's not a fat joke, that is about putting the camera far enough back, because if you're used to me in a small bedroom, you can't really do that. So I'd take 3 pictures at the top, 1 front on, 1 to the side, and 1 on the back. Or if you can fit it all in 1 frame, do that. If not, just do 3 more pictures of the lower body, same at the side, at the front, and at the back. This way, it gives you something to compare against in a 3-month mark, and I would also get onto that point in a minute as well, in a 3-month mark, to see if you've made any progress. Another thing I'd recommend to do is take your weight instantly. The day you start, take your weight in the morning. You haven't drank anything, you haven't ate anything, and that figure there is a true figure of what your body weight is at that moment in time. So then, even week by week, you can then see if anything's coming off, and if nothing's coming off, you can then, what we just went through, you can then start to exercise more, bring that calories that you're eating in a day just down a notch. Also recommend taking measurements. Now, the measurements that I took that I found quite useful was actually for my school uniform. That's probably the only measurements that I really took, and my mum did it. So, but all you have to do is probably just about the middle of the chest all the way around to the back. I took my arms just up around over the tricep and the bicep on both arms, and the waist, which is basically just above what some people call the handlebars, or just below where you can feel the bottom of the rib cage. I also took my thighs on both legs, and I found I just stuck with that. Now, get as many measurements as you can. It only takes listing that and redoing that in about 3 months to see if you've made any progress. So you're not, it's not a lot of work to do, but all of these things help when trying to look at progress. And if you are making them, that motivation, goes a mile in when trying to lose weight by sticking to it. But yeah, just try and do all 3 of them things: pictures, track your weight, take your measurements, and you've got 3 reliable sources to see if you're really losing weight. What I also would like to mention as well is to experiment. Nothing is set in stone at the start. Don't worry if you're not losing weight, or if you are, or if you're losing an incredible amount of weight, or even if you're putting on weight. You'll experiment and you'll find out how your body works, what works and what doesn't, and why it doesn't work. I wouldn't really delve into too much why it doesn't work, but I'll definitely look at what's working and what isn't. So when I say experimenting, like I went on quite subtly before, track your calories, see if the amount of calories is enough, see if you're burning enough, and don't eat low enough to the point where you're really dissatisfied and you're tired, you're constantly hungry, and for the first week and couple of weeks you will be, because your body is adapting to it. But don't do it to the point where you're really not enjoying yourself, because like I said, it's a lifestyle change. You want to enjoy your life, so you do want to be satisfied with what you're eating. But for the first week you will not enjoy it. However, as your body starts to adapt, everything is way more easier. The last topic I really want to talk about is a few of my personal tips and tricks that worked for me in when I was losing weight. Was firstly, treat days. The way I did my treat days and the way that I recommend you to do your treat days is have that one single day of having a bit more freedom with your food. So whether that's changing what you eat a day to meet them calories, so it might be, I didn't tell you this, 3 bars of chocolate, that's your breakfast, dinner and tea, but as long as they meet the calories that you need to be eating, then that's suited. Now, to find that calories, what I did was, for the 6 or 7 days, instead of doing my 500 calorie deficit number each day, 7 days of the week, what I did for 6 of them days is I burnt a bit more, or I ate a bit less, to create a bit more of a calorie deficit. So instead of 500, I probably did about 700, 800. And then over a 6-day period, you'll end up burning your 7-day amount already and a bit more. So for that one day that you want off, use the calories that you sacrificed for the other 6 days and consume them. But you'll consume them just to a point of where you will still lose weight. So let me give you a rough example. 7 days a week, you've got 2,000 calories to eat on each day, and you do a hour walk to then take that to 2,500 calories, right? So that 500 calorie there, keep that 7 days a week, you'll lose your weight, right? So what you do is you then probably eat 1,800 calories, that's 700 calories deficit, or you eat 2,000 and then you burn 2,700 calories, so that's 700 calorie deficit. So then if you do that for 6 days, so Monday, Saturday, and then your Sunday, you will then eat the remaining.
So what I'm trying to say here is, instead of eating a certain amount of calories to get into that 500 calorie deficit over a 7-day period, which would come to 3,500 calories, you can actually increase that calorie deficit, make it a bit larger gap. So say, for example, 700 calorie deficit for each day, that comes up to 4,900. So by doing this over a 7-day period, this allows you to consume an extra 1,400 calories on your treat day, and by doing this you will still stay in a large enough calorie deficit over the whole entire week to be able to lose some weight, because you would still match that 500 calorie deficit a week just with a larger sum of calories.
I mean, that's just a bonus, you can't really argue with that. So that's a treat day. So basically discipline yourself for 6 days, burn a bit more than 500 calories, and then on the other day you can basically treat yourself. And this was a way that I kept satisfied throughout the time I was losing weight. What I also used was progress manipulation in order to avoid snacking. So when I'd ever, or I'm going to blame this on my parents, whenever they would buy stuff in, and because I know it was there, I wanted to sneak down, grab it, bring it up to my room, bang YouTube on or Netflix and just scoff it. However, I knew that I would sacrifice my gains at that point. So whether you just started or whether you're 3 months into it, look at where you want to be in 3 months. So that chocolate bar or that 7-day snack out isn't going to help you 3 months time. It's going to make that 3 months an extra bloody 6 months. It's not worth it. For that 10 minutes of eating, that extra 10 weeks, you know, it isn't worth it. Or 10 days of extreme, you know, really bad pain, it isn't worth it. And knowing that I would lose what I worked hard to get, that really put me off track. And I was like, no, I'm not in it, no way. Or if you just started, look where you want to be. So if you're at the 3-month mark, look where you've came. If you're going to start, look where you want to be. You don't want to make that progress any longer. Where if you're at the 3-month mark, you're going to ruin what you've earned. What's the point of you've wasted 3 months of your life then, really? That's how bad I went into it, to then realise that I didn't want to eat that anymore. So that progress manipulation was very handy for me. One more tip that I also used was water. So never really that good to overhydrate. However, you have all the benefits for staying hydrated. But more to the point, when I just started, I really did kick this in. I was always a water kind of person. And when I would ever get the, normally after tea, I would normally get the satisfaction or of snacking or having a dessert, and I wanted to cut that out to meet my calories. So what I would do, if I ever got the temptation, because I knew that even in dessert was my thing, I would drink a whole lot of water, and all that would do, physically, keep me full. Didn't feel like I needed any more food because my stomach was already full. And mentally, even just consuming, it's a bit like a fag, and a lot of people that have smoked will know what I'm talking about, even though I don't smoke, but I've seen this on many sources, many documentaries. Just having like the fag and the 2 fingers and in between the lips is a kind of psychological addiction, and your brain begins to miss that because it's been used to it for so long. So even just consuming chewing is another, you know, it's a psychological, you know, miss. It will not enjoy not having that because it's been used to it for so long. So just consuming something, getting something down you, will help you in the slightest way, but it will help you avoid snacking. So I did that with water. Also did that with chewing gum as well. Just the motion of eating kind of tricked my brain into thinking that it was actually eating, but psych, you're not. And other than that, that is pretty much how to lose weight with a few of my own tips and tricks. I will do an advanced video if there's any questions, or I will do some methods of exercise that will help get them calories up to meet that calorie deficit. However, that's all from me today. If you want to follow me by Snapchat, my Instagram, and Facebook, mate. Facebook, I'm going all out. All of them, even TikTok. I've got a few, you know, I've got a chest day on there coming up, and it's going to be a leg day. I've got all of that. They're all in the corners. Other than that, if you like to like, subscribe, it's going to help a massive amount. I might even debate about using sound equipment, maybe some lighting, to make these better quality videos, but I'm not even going far on this. My aim is to help you guys progress in your fitness and enjoy, and I will see you next.